I'd like to introduce you to today's guest speaker, Gigi. And like I said on my post, she is a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, a realtor, an investor. She also does lashes. And I'm sure a whole bunch of other things that she will share with us today. So welcome, Gigi, to the brew.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm just really happy to be here, and any chance I get to speak to women and just work together with other women and bring each other up, I'm all for it. I think there's not a lot of that, right, in this world or in your circles. Just people that don't compare, no comparison, but in reality just want to come alongside you and just help you be better. And I believe that we need more of groups like this that Eneri has going on, and it's just very empowering to be here and thankful. I'm very thankful. So just a little history on why I even started in real estate. My husband started Profit Properties about 6 years ago, and business was great, right? He was doing the investment part of that business, and I'm like, oh, you're doing this, let's finally get our home, and so we embarked on trying to get our first home, and there were so many setbacks. It was just the saddest thing, I would say. Whatever could go wrong. Like, we found a house. It really wasn't. My mom was like, this is not the house for you. You guys host people. You like, a lot of people over. It was a little small. But I was like, whatever God wants to give us, this is, I truly believe that this was it, right? And we kept pushing forward, and whatever could go wrong with the loan, just how everything was going, it ended up being a really bad deal. We didn't get it. I found out on my birthday that we weren't getting the house. And literally, I was out to dinner and got a call. Yeah, well, it's not going to happen. So I was just really, really sad. But I didn't know the ins and outs of real estate. And I really didn't have an agent that guided us. I felt the way we should have been guided in that transaction. So I'm like, I never want this to happen to anybody else. This was horrible, and needless to say, we even had to go to trial to get our down payment back, which was like $20-something thousand. It was horrible that whole time. But moving forward, my husband's was like, babe, I can use a little bit more help in Profit Properties. As we always do something as a team. Like, so before he does any transactions, we pray on it. He asks my opinion on it. I let it sit in, because he's very much like, he just goes. He gets an idea, or he gets something going, like, I want to buy this property, I'm just gonna go buy it, and I'm like, hold on, relax, let's sit on this, let's do a little bit more due diligence before we just jump in all the way, so I kind of bring that to him and kind of calm him down, like, pray on it, sit on it for a little bit, make sure you get confirmation, all those things. Because what I've learned with the last transaction was that we should have been patient, right? And waited and really got confirmation on if that was something that God was trying to give us. So fast forward, for those of you who don't know, but Lenny and Jasmine know, this year on my birthday, we closed on a house, and now we have our home that I believe was truly meant for us, because we do fit in this home a lot better than the one that we saw the first time around. So God knew what he was doing, and we're very grateful. But so I came alongside, I partnered with my husband, I took the real estate test, and now we have not only gone from Profit Properties, which is a company where you buy properties, you resell them, you flip them, some people keep them, meaning keep them to grow residual income. So the initial property, we're just investors. With that being said, We didn't use any of our own money. We had investors buy these properties. I could go in a little bit more detail if you have questions about it. But profit properties is properties that were bought in distress and from an owner. Let's say an owner doesn't live in the state. They live in Florida or wherever. And we, discuss with the owner if they're willing to sell their property at a reasonable rate. Then we either purchase that property ourselves, or we discuss it with our investors if they want to purchase it, and then we make money off the back end with our fee in it. If that makes any sense to you. If not, you can ask me the question. So where I come in is I run comps on the properties for my husband to make sure that there are properties worthy of whatever the owner is trying to get it purchased for. So whatever amount they're trying to get for the property, I make sure that it's a reasonable rate. So I run comps, are comparisons of all the properties in the area. Not only in price, but in how many bedrooms, bathrooms, all those things, because you want to make sure you get a good deal and something that you can resale later on. So that actual business has been 6 years. We just celebrated 6 years, and it's been a crazy business. So with any business, I always recommend you can have high seasons, right? One of our properties, we benefited like $45K from just one property. So if you're doing 5 properties a month and you're making anywhere, even the lowest from 5 to 40 on a deal, it's good money, right? However, in any business, you always have to plan for the rainy days, because sometimes businesses get a little slow, and that's where your discernment comes in, right? And you prepare for the seasons where it's not as flourishing. So when that season comes around again, then you kind of save up and just invest it in ways that it'll still grow. So for us, that was the Airbnb business. It's Kingdom Homestays. And any business that we have, our secret partner is Jesus, right? Because we don't want to run into situations that I ran into, what we ran into when we first purchased the home. And so we purchased homestays, Kingdom Homestays, Airbnb, and we currently have 7 properties. So 5 of those properties, 2 of them are in Florida, 3 of them are in Atlantic City, and we have 2 in Bergen County. The 2 in Bergen County are now long-term rentals. So all these properties, we make residual income. Residual income is what we pay as rent, when you're renting a home. But it's monthly payments that you're getting that you're not even seeing. It's going straight to the bank with the properties that we now own. And that business is going on 3 years. Let me see, another question, meet people. Okay. And then the last business that we have, and we just started that business this spring, was Kingdom Lawn Care. And we currently have 45 clients, thank God. And it's doing wonderful. And we are praying for double that next season, because the season is coming to an end. So God willing, next spring, we will have triple the clients that we have this year that we just started. So with that being said, how do I juggle all these jobs? Because I also do lashes on the side. So being a mom, lashes, I have my mom who lives with me, trying, also spending time with my husband. I have to set boundaries on all the businesses that we have. And we have things that are like, this is what we do. So Sundays is family day, no matter what business we have. We also set apart time, like my side business of lashes. I won't do that on the weekends. I delegate time to do businesses with my husband. We have a weekly Wednesday marriage meeting. Every Wednesday for breakfast, we meet. We discuss all the business stuff. We discuss things that we want to do together, things we want to do with our family, expenses, and we just plan and pray for what we have going on in our life. And then every week we add to the list, or we put a check marks on things that we accomplished. But that's how we've stayed, how we've even been able to be accountable for things that we want to do, whether it's relationship or business wise, things like that, is having the weekly Wednesday breakfast meeting. And let's see, what was the other? There was one more question. I think I answered those. Okay. And so if you have any questions about real estate, I mean, if you are looking to buy a home, anything like that, there's a lot of wonderful programs out there available. There's for mortgages, there's a cash for keys, which enables you to purchase homes with like a cash buy, instead of, like, it's still a loan, but instead of you filling out everything and waiting for the loan to go through, it's already proactive before that. So you do all the legwork first. There's also programs where they pay for the down payment. So it's really working with a great lender for all these things, and making sure that your agent keeps you accountable for all the steps that you have to follow once you're in contract for finding your home, so that nothing bad or a deal doesn't happen and go sideways or sour on you. As far as opening a new business, being patient and putting your all into it, but also practicing discernment for it, and just preparing for the rainy days when it is coming in, not going shopping and crazy and say, hey, I got such 25,000 on this deal, or I made $5,000 or $10,000 bonus, or whatever it is that you got going on when your business starts, and people are hearing about it. It's just practicing good stewardship with your money. And getting your name out there would be social media, obviously, because that's the biggest platform. But I've found that word of mouth works great too. Putting yourself out there, word of mouth, going to events, meeting new people. For me, that's always been hard. I'm like a yapper right now. I don't even know why, but when I go places, sometimes I'm like, I get a little nervous when I have to talk to people, and I clam up a little. But you were put in that room for a reason, right? And sometimes, without even knowing it, you meet someone who can help your business, help it grow, and then they tell someone else who tells someone else, and before you know it, you have all these people interested in your business. And that's kind of what happened with us with the real estate businesses that we have. We met so many people, and they're just like, we love what you guys are doing, and we just want to be a part of it. So that's how our investor portfolio of people whose money get invested in new properties, that's how we receive it, because they're just so, from conversations, and they see what we've done, and we let them see the whole process. They're just trusting, and they're like, we believe in your company and what you're doing, and we just want to be a part of it. So that's how that goes.
That's so great. Thank you. I'll let you talk some more, but I wanted to just interject a question. What you were talking about in the beginning about going out there and finding people who need to sell their home because of distress or whatever. Is that what wholesaling is called?
So wholesaling it can be a property that is in distress. Mm-hmm. It can be a property that the owner no longer wants to deal with. Let's say they live out of state, or the property is in an area that they don't care to take care of anymore.
Mhm.
Maybe they have tenants that are not, cooperating. So they're just like, I want out of this business, like out of this
Yeah.
property.
Okay.
Or elderly, or someone passed away and the family wants to get rid of the property.
Mhm.
So it's different. There's different reasons why people want to get rid of the properties. And those are the ones that we negotiate and we try to take off their hands. And some of them are good to keep, flip them, meaning
Right.
we put a little money in them and we put them back on the market and sell it at cost. But yeah, pretty much just those are the type of properties we look for as a wholesale investment company.
Got it. How do you, I mean, and this it was great for you to share that you guys have a meeting every week to keep on top of what it is that you need to do, right? And to plan out your week. And for those of us who are by ourselves in business, you have a meeting with yourself, right? You have to put it on the calendar. That is crucial to just start thinking about what you want to accomplish that week, etc.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I love that. I love that you guys get together and plan out your week and that you have boundaries. That was a key one that stood out for me. Having those boundaries, I think people, when they want to start a business or any endeavor, they think they have to work at it every day. I'm like, no, you need time for you. I like the fact that you talked about, I believe you mentioned church and family.
Yeah.
To having that day for just that, no business on that day, because you need your sanity as well. You need your time to decompress, to just kind of reassess times what's going on in your life too, so that you can have that breather, right?
Yeah.
As well. I love that. Crystal, I saw your hand pop up. I don't know if you want to come off and ask your question. And feel free, ladies, if you have a question, there's a emoticon to just raise your hand and come off mute. And so, Crystal, if you want to ask your question.
Hi, everyone. I didn't have a question. I just had a reaction to something that you said that was really good. And I believe it was my goodness, it left my mind. I'm so sorry, but no, keep going. You guys are doing amazing. And I'm really listening over here to all the things that Gigi's saying. They're really good and very, I'll definitely be able to apply them to myself as well.
Yeah. And that's the whole point. Yes, we're sharing. You take what's for you.
Yeah.
What really resounded in that way, that, oh, wait, this is something I can do on my own and I can start doing, because these are the steps that are going to lead you to success. Lenny, you had a question?
Oh, I have a comment and a question.
Go ahead.
Before I forget. Aren't you tired yet, girl? I've known Gigi and Marco for a long time now, but they're great people. I just want to say, first and foremost, I love you guys' intentionality. I didn't know about the Wednesday meeting thing. That's cute. That's cute. It's very intentional with keeping on track of all your businesses and, in combination with your, family time and stuff like that. That's really good. I'll put a note for my future husband. But, and when you were talking about the different types of loans, let's say for purchasing a home, I had a home, I sold it, it was in Texas. Now, do you know if there are, let's say if I wanted to buy another home, obviously I'm not going to get like first time home buyers, maybe not those programs, but are there just as equally other good loan? I don't even know if that was English. Are there other loans that I can partake in, based on, my salary, which is not as great as it was in the past, that I can take advantage of for those that are second time home buyers, not first.
Actually, there are so many loans. I think what happens though with people is they work with a person, and then this is the thing. Not every mortgage company they have the same affiliations or the same programs, right? So just because you're working with John from Provident Bank, right? he may not have the same programs that are available at Wells Fargo. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they'll say you'll apply and they'll say, well, this is all you can get. So it's important to do your due diligence when you're looking for a loan to see what programs they offer. Because there's so many out there. It doesn't matter if you're a first time, second time buyer. There's some that they'll pay. There's down payment assistance. There's some loans that, like I was mentioning before, to be competitive in this market, because let's be honest, if you're not paying cash for a lot of these homes, you're not going to get the home that you deserve or you want. So right now they have programs where it's called Cash for Keys, where you initially go through the whole loan process. And that way, you know, okay, I'm going to purchase this home. I'm buying it cash because the loan was already up front. Obviously not in your hands, still by the bank, but it'll say, you know, Lenny is approved for $425 cash. And when you purchase these homes, it's not, the contract is different. It's not like I'm doing a conventional loan. No, I'm buying this home cash, even though you still will be paying the bank back that loan. But on paper, for you to receive the home that you want, because of the way the market is now, this is a new program they're offering. Okay. One of the other programs too is down payment assistance for not only conventional, but the federal loan. So it's like 3.5. It's an FHA loan. Most of the loans that they give that you can do a 3.5% down. They'll pay that for you. Or they have a different one that is it's a FHA 203K, where there's a limit about, I think it goes up to 40,000, but it depends what company you use, where you can do upgrades to your home, because most of these homes now they're outdated, so they need to be updated, whether it's windows, roof, things like that. So a lot of these loans now, these programs are catching with it and getting with the times and incorporating certain things that people need to buy these homes right now. So.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Mortgage broker for the same reason. He was able to shop around the best loan programs. Yeah. See, Donabelle, just like I'm saying, and a lot of people don't do that. Hello, I'm one of those people with the first house. I was like, oh yeah, we're solid, let's get it. And that was like the most traumatic experience in home buying for me. That I was like, I can't have other people do that. Like, I talk to people like freely. I don't do the real estate. Like, me and my husband do not do these businesses for the money that we're going to make. We do it because we want to help people. And most of the houses that we do the profit properties for, the wholesaling and the flipping, we had a property, it was in Maryland, that we recently just sold, but the owner was sick and they just couldn't do it anymore, and they needed to get rid of the property. And that's what we were like, we have to help all these people. So we started doing it more for that reason. And obviously it's a business, but we don't let the business side of it, like real estate can get a little ugly with the amount of money people make on it. So I practice it more to help people, educate people. So if I can get the information and help you, I'm there. If you want me to also, help you see houses, or if you're already working with someone and you have questions, I don't mind coming alongside and just giving you information, because nowadays it's that's what it's about. It's just helping other people win, and we're all on the same team, and we're supposed to salt the earth. So that's what I try to do in my business. And back to the weekly meetings, it doesn't have to be with your spouse. Your weekly meetings could be with Jesus, asking him for guidance and discernment in your business.
Amen.
That's so good.
Just say.
Yes, I wholeheartly agree. That's why I said in the beginning, even you set that appointment with yourself and you plan it out, you talk to God, you do whatever you need to, but you need to be intentional about taking that time to plan out, man, what do you want your business to look like?
Yeah.
If it's not a business or it's a goal, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? So then you can start breaking it down on, okay, then what steps do I need to get there? And that's what anything we want to do in our lives. And that's where your due diligence come in. You start researching. You start asking questions. You start networking with other people who've been there, done that. And that's why I invited Gigi on the call, because she's juggled a lot, but she has a lot of wisdom to share with us so that we won't go through the same hardships. Learn from those who went before you. That's what this is all about. So Gigi, I have another question for you as far as with everything that you're doing. And I know, what's the first thing you started doing as a business?
What I should have been doing. The first thing I started, what I first started doing as a business, I think when we first started, and it was just like, oh, we're helping people, we're making money, you know, we're like, yeah, you know, and then it caught up to us real quick that we were like not planning for the rainy days. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of went in backside first, and we had to like reposition ourselves. So now what I would say I wish I would have done, which we did later on, is any business you have, create a separate bank account for that business with an LLC for your business. Also to get a separate credit card and entity for that business, so that when you do your taxes and all those things, it's streamlined for you. So we have different bank accounts. We have different business credit cards, and they're each for whatever business that we have, so that we're also accountable for all the expenses with each business, which is easier when we go into our taxes, so that we know where our money is going. And we have a separate account that is like whatever we make, we put in that account for us. So let's say we have an event or a birthday, or we're hanging out. We're like, all right, if it's in the account for us to do so, then we're going to do it. Because, you know, when you're building a business, sometimes you have to kind of humble yourself with the things that you want to do in life. You can't do all these things and going out and all. You have to kind of just be a better steward with your finances. So I would say I wish I would have done it from the beginning, is the separate bank accounts. But lesson learned.
Agreed. All right. Any other questions? Sylvia, I don't know if you had a question, because I saw you kind of going forward, but I could be wrong. She's taking notes. Lots of notes. Awesome. All right. Okay. Donabelle is asking, do you have expertise in dealing with commercial properties, especially if someone wants to establish a storefront business or acquired a previous commercial property and they need help walking through that process?
So personally, I've done land for certain businesses that were looking to build on land. But as there's different agents, so I'm a real estate agent. So more or less, I'm only allowed to do a certain number of commercial properties. I've only done a few. Mm-hmm. However, because of the community that I'm in, there's so many commercial agents that we work with. So that wouldn't be a problem if you needed to talk to someone that can guide you. We know tons of commercial agents in the area. So
awesome. All right. Any other questions? Because, you know, I could fill up with a whole bunch for her, but I wanted to come from you. Like what's burning? And it doesn't necessarily have to be about the real estate or anything like that. It could be about just normal stuff. Like, how do you balance it all? I mean, I know you're a mom. I know you're a wife. And I know you used to serve also. I mean, I'm not sure if you're serving now in church, but you were doing, I knew you was doing that as well. And then also managing all these businesses. How do you keep it all straight?
How do I keep it all straight? I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the non-negotiables that we have, and setting those just setting those guidelines and setting like the bar for things that we can do and what we can't do and sticking to it, it would be hard. I mean, there's just certain things I'm like, I want to do, but we can't do. You know, Wednesdays is non-negotiable. We have a Wednesday meeting, and that we don't change. Sundays is family. And I mean, those are the things, those small things help us refresh, you know, focus on our business, because a lot of times if you know, I'm running around like all day, like Wednesdays, Lenny could tell you, I'm like, yeah, I'm here now, I'm going here now, I'm running here, you know, like I'm constantly on the go. So on the weekends and those family time, I take very seriously. It's my time to relax, enjoy my family, refresh my mind, my spirit, so that I can have the strength again to keep going. So if it wasn't for those pauses and those breaks, I think it would be really difficult for me.
Yes, I agree. And it goes back to planning, making sure that for those of you who don't like to use your calendar, I don't know how you do it, because things fall through the cracks. If you're not planning for it, it will fall through the cracks most times. We have so many things that we're juggling. When I say juggling, like I literally picture in my head all the balls up in the air that we're trying to. It's like, here we go. Oop, oop, don't fall down. So and being intentional about having that time with God, for me, with yourself, and putting things on the calendar so that in one view, I can see, okay, these are the things I have going on this week. That's why when surprises come, because we all have those surprises, either somebody needs our help or our kids get sick, etc.
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to interject those things in your busy week? Well, if you don't know what your week looks like, it's going to make it even harder for you to take that time out. And surprises happen all the time, good ones and bad ones. But for us, a lot of us here are believers. If we're rooted in the Word of God, that gives us the strength, that gives us the focus time, knowing who we're daughters of the Most High God. He was great things for us, good and perfect things for us. What does that look like? God does his part. He wants to bless us, but we need to do ours. Once we do ours and we align, then the blessings will come, then the success will come, then everything else will come. But like Gigi mentioned before, you have to be a good steward of your time, treasure, and talent. And anybody else have a question around that?
I was asked a question. I'm just gonna touch base on it. So with our businesses, especially the Kingdom Lawn Care, so we have at least 3 workers under it. So any company that has less than 10, you don't really have to use like ADP or most of the payroll companies out there. They're pretty much, you could if you wanted to with less than 10, but we treat them as independent contractors. Mm-hmm. So they have the tax form at the end of the year and they file their own taxes. So like real estate, even me working on the businesses with my husband, I'm an independent contractor. Okay. So I file independently with I believe it's a 1090 form. Okay. But I'd have to double check that. But yes, so nobody that is under our businesses are on a payroll company. They're all independent contractors.
Okay, I'm going to write that one down. That's a good thing to know as my business continues to grow. I'm speaking life. Thank you for answering that question. Anyone else? Any questions? Yes, Sylvia.
Hi, yes, I have a question for Gigi. With the company that you have three workers, you said, right?
Yes.
All right. I have girls working on a cleaning business, and I'll depend on my girls. Manage the problems with the workers. That's finding good people to work for your company. That's one of my struggles. especially in the cleaning business, you don't want to be changing people all the time because the family, they don't want to see new faces. And even though I try to pay them good and try to treat them good, I still having a hard time to find good people. How do you manage that when there's a problem? They don't want to work, they miss days, and you have that schedule that you depend of them.
Mhm.
How do
Mhm. It's funny you said that, because we had someone in the beginning that was just not responsible. And I'm like, we need to find someone else. And so I think a lot of it is in the hiring process, obviously asking really good questions, but we found a really good worker and it was word of mouth. So it was, hey, anyone who really would like to work that is a good worker, and just looking around, because like you said, the people that I even had a family member and it was like not good. So it really is just for us, we've been lucky, but now we've been lucky now because we asked around to see, hey, do you know someone who really needs a job, who wants to work? Like, tell us more about them. And we just ask the right questions. And then as they work for us, we treat them like family, treat them like family, but not like too much family where they feel like they're like, hey, I'm not coming in because I'm doing this or whatever, but still loving. And sometimes even just like, I know you mentioned like you were paying more or doing this and that. Some people just don't respond well to that. They feel entitled after a while. I don't know what it is. But I think acknowledgement in front of the coworkers, like, hey, you guys have been doing a great job. Thank you for all that you do. That goes a long way. At the end of the week, in the summer, we would like barbecue for them, like, so they, can eat, like a gathering, like once a month or whatever, just to let them know that they're important to us. But it's really hard to find people who want to work and are committed to your business. It really is. So I would say ask around, and hopefully.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask a question about that. Say, how do you guys select people if you had to hire someone now and they're really good at their skill, but their character's not there? Do you keep them around because you think that you can maybe adjust their character because you have really good culture in your business? Or should character come before skill?
See, so
Good question.
That's a great question. Obviously, I feel that character is built depending where you are. I believe that certain people, they act certain ways in different situations, right? When going into a business that sets the tone for the type of business they run and the culture of the office or the workers and things like that, of that nature, sometimes the character in that person can change for that job, because that's to say, like, that's to give up on someone and say, hey, they're never going to change, that's who they are, and never give that person a chance. And then finally you give that person and they flourish, so I feel like you give them a chance, you let them see the culture, you bring them alongside for training, and just be, stern but loving on them, so that they know that there are things that they can grow in. Can that blow up in our face and say, hey, that person just didn't work out? Yeah, but I don't want to be the person who didn't give them a chance, to see if they could. Kind of like what happened with our family member. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work out. So we gave him a chance, came alongside of him, was encouraging and all those things. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't for him, character wise or whatever, But I'm glad that we gave him that opportunity, because I think it made him realize other things that he wanted to do and now was going to strive to do it, whether it was with us or someone else, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to interject. I think it depends, right? Like you said, right? If you have the time for it. First and foremost, I would set the tone before they even start of what the expectations are for that job, what the expectations are to work in your company.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of companies don't set the expectations, and they get anybody that goes through the door, and then they get people whose character is lacking in many areas. And some people may have great skills, but if they have bad character, that's going to affect your business. If you have the time to come alongside that person and teach and coach and all that good stuff, then you may give somebody with not the greatest character, but they got good referrals, a chance. But again, if you don't have the time, that's why it's important, like Gigi says, to ask those questions up front and to set the tone for what you will put up with, for what you won't put up with. These are our guidelines. These are what we go by. This is what we believe in. The customer is our priority, blah, 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 whatever that is. Timeliness is next to godliness. All that good. You have to set the tone. And I'm one for like have it in writing and make them sign it and make them sign it as an understanding that this is what you go by. So that therefore, when they're not doing those things, it's up to you to give them another chance. Like in my book, 3 strikes, you're out. That's just the way I operate. But by having it signed, you're making sure that you're protected.
And they're held accountable.
And they're correct. They are held accountable, because God forbid they try to say that you come after you legally because, she fired me without due cause, blah, blah. I'm like, no. You have the proof. This is what they agreed to do. They didn't do, and then you document the times where they didn't do those things so that you're covered legally. Right. I'm all about, I came from an accounting firm. So we were big on cover yourself legally. But having those things up front, it could be a survey, a questionnaire that they fill out and sign. It's, again, time-stamped. And I agree with Gigi as well. It's referrals. When they're referred by other people that you know, it's a great thing. May not always work, because the person who referred them may think they're the best thing since sliced bread, but then they were not coming in early or on time. Another thing that I just thought about, because I participated in a panel yesterday, in a career panel for Renewed Life Center, partner up with organizations that upskill people.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll send you the information, Sylvia, because those are people who want to work, who need to work, and they may not be given the chance, maybe because they don't have all their documents in order yet, but they're working towards that. But these people are hungry to work and make something of themselves. So you're giving them that chance. You get a good employee, plus you're helping back the community. Mm-hmm. That's not something many people think about, but think about partnering with organizations who upskill their people, because they're going to make sure that person is trained, that person is reliable, that person wants a future with that company.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. This is great. Donabelle, I think she's still there. That was she put in a comment on the side that was kind of funny, but she's still looking for a landscaper in South Jersey. And we're happy to have all of you on this call. Any other last questions before we say have a great day? Well, with that, I want to thank Gigi. First of all, were your questions answered? Or the comments that you had in the beginning of the call, did you get out of this call what you were looking for? And hopefully more. Yes. I see Lenny's thumbs up. Yes. And Sylvia. Let's see one message. Yes, Donabelle. Thank you. Yeah, Gigi is a great resource. I know she's a busy lady, but feel free to send her an email. I put her different company pages so that you can check them out, see if you need them in any way. Feel free to reach out to her. She has a lot of wisdom, as you can tell, and a lot to share with us. And so thank you, Gigi, for this opportunity to have you speak to us and share your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have a
Thank you.
good day.
Thank you. And with that, have an awesome day, ladies.